13 Facts about Sandro Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. 1. Venus, the goddess of love, modestly stands on a seashell, being carried ashore by Zephyr, the god of the west wind. In the painting, one of the hours, goddesses of the seasons, stands ready with a cloak to dress the newborn deity. The fourth figure carried by Zephyr is either Aura, a wind nymph, or Chloris, a nymph associated with spring and blooming flowers, much like those depicted in the painting. 2. The nudity depicted in the painting takes on a different significance when you know it was intended for a marital bedroom. As The Birth of Venus was a rather explicit portrayal and was located in a bedroom, it was kept hidden from public view for almost 50 years. 3. During this early Renaissance period, painting on wooden panels was in vogue. The popularity of canvas was just beginning to rise, primarily used in regions with high humidity where wood often warped. As canvas was cheaper than wood, its status was lower, so it was left for works not intended for large public displays. The painting is considered the first work on canvas in Tuscany. 4. Although the painting was created 3 to 4 years earlier, Primavera can be seen as a kind of continuation of the Birth of Venus narrative. While one depicts Venus's arrival in the world during springtime, the other painting shows that love conquers cruelty. 5. The masterpieces Primavera and The Birth of Venus are not a diptych but are inevitably discussed together. They are among the most famous paintings and icons of the Italian Renaissance. They were almost unprecedented large-scale depictions of classical mythology heroes in Western art since antiquity. The dimensions of The Birth of Venus are 173 by 279 centimeters, and Primavera is 203 by 314 centimeters. They are considered the first large-scale paintings created in Florence during the Renaissance. 6. Over the centuries, layers of varnish meant to preserve the painting became increasingly opaque, obscuring details and true colors from viewers. Meticulous restoration, completed in 1987, carefully removed the top layer, revealing the soft and pearl-like colors that the artist applied to the canvas. 7. The modest gesture of the goddess, covering her intimate parts, is found in statues like the Capitoline Venus from the 2nd to 3rd centuries BCE. These statues are characterized by hand positions. Venus covers her breasts with her right hand and her groin with her left. 8. The painting may have been intended to replace a lost masterpiece. Some sources suggest that The Birth of Venus was painted based on the long-lost painting by the ancient Greek artist Apelles, Venus Anadyomene. The drawing was only known through the written memories of the Roman writer Pliny the Elder. 9. The Birth of Venus was inspired by poetry. According to another theory, this scene was based on a Homeric hymn published in Florence by Demetrius Chalcondyles. 10. It took centuries for Venus to gain fame. During Botticelli's lifetime, his paintings were often overshadowed by those of high Renaissance artists. 400 years after the creation of The Birth of Venus, Botticelli's works began to appear in European museum collections. His works received recognition only in the 19th century, when The Birth of Venus became his most famous work. 11. The Birth of Venus symbolizes beauty. The painting is a favorite example of Renaissance art and serves as a benchmark for measuring the beauty norms of other cultural epochs. Venus's pose has been copied multiple times by contemporary models in mass media. 12. Botticelli wished to be buried at the feet of his Venus. Not the painting, but he wanted to forever lie next to his earthly inspiration, Simonetta Vespucci. Dubbed the most beautiful woman in Florence and the most beautiful woman of the Renaissance, Simonetta was a muse who inspired Botticelli. She is depicted in the paintings The Birth of Venus and Primavera. When the artist died in 1510, he was buried next to this noblewoman whom he loved unconditionally. In addition to Botticelli, many other artists were inspired by the theme of The Birth of Venus, including François Boucher's The Triumph of Venus, 1740. Titian's Venus Anadyomene, 1520. William Adolphe Bouguereau's The Birth of Venus, 1879. Alexander Cabanel's The Birth of Venus, 1863. Jean Auguste Monique Ingres Venus Anadyomene, 1825 to 1850.